You've got £40,000 to spend on a big, luxurious cruiser. And you are faced with the choice of picking either a Range Rover Autobiography or a Range Rover Sport. Today, we are looking at both of those cars back to back to see which one sits up best. This is the Range Rover Autobiography. With a V8 4.4 litre engine under that gigantic bonnet, it will take you to Aldi or the point-to-point in absolute sumptuous luxury. It is the big daddy when it comes to comfort, status and utility. Welcome to the cabin of the Range Rover Autobiography. This is the 4.4 litre V8, over 300 horsepower, torque to high hell, and you just sumptuously glide across the tarmac. It doesn't feel for a second that you are in something that is the size of a small Middlesbrough street. The touch of everything is nice, it's leathery. You can tell that the materials that have gone into it are not from the bargain bin. It shares a number of features that you will see crop up across the Jaguar Land Rover group, and that is the turnstile to pick your gear, the central console and the nav system are pretty much shared across most of the platforms. So although this car would have originally retailed at just over £100,000, the reason that I'm able to drive it today is because you can buy it for just over £40,000. That means two things. Number one, the original purchaser has lost a lot of money on this and they are going to feel quite unwell at the prospect of that. Secondly, it suddenly means that you can get yourself into just an incredible car and lots of car for a huge amount less than you would have originally had to spend. The steering is actually quite responsive, but is light enough that you don't feel like you're steering an oil tanker around. I'm aware that I'm driving a big car. It is definitely large, but I don't feel like I'm having to give away any of my driving style or any kind of comfort or anything like that to the size of it on this road. It fits. As we enter a zone with the national speed limit, we are armed with little paddles behind the steering wheel. What's a bit weird is the window controls are here. That's a completely subjective thing for me. I'd like them a little bit lower. I'm a short guy. I need things a bit closer to me. And with that, we come on to things that are not the best for me. Again, this is completely subjective, but it's a bit of a stretch to get to the infotainment system. I shouldn't have to lean forward even just a little bit. Go away, Smooth Radio, we're all good, thanks. Other than that, there's not really that much to complain about. I guess the only thing is the price. That's the barrier to entry. If you can get through that, then you're pretty much okay. This is a Range Rover Sport from 2013. This was the year that the new shape that you see behind me was released. We're going to take it for a little jaunt and see how much of a Premiership footballer I feel by the end of it. So you find me in the Range Rover Sport. Now, although I appreciate the Range Rover Autobiography Vogue, or Vogue Autobiography, I do prefer the more compact element of the Sport. And not because I like more dynamic, sportier vehicles, although I do, it's more around the fact that it just feels like this is a lot more practical. It's more than big enough to fit everything in that you would need as part of your day-to-day life, the Autobiography felt a little bit too large for everyday use, whereas this feels just around about the right size. The Range Rover Sport has been around for many, many years. It was originally released in 2004 going into 2005. This model was released in 2013, and Range Rover effectively built the car from scratch. It is significantly different to the model that it replaced. Not only aesthetically, so when you look at it from the outside, it looks a lot sportier. It's got those rakish lines that slowly go down into the boot that make it look a lot more like a sports coupe. It's got a lot more of a subtle, more aerodynamic front end into the back end. Describing the old Range Rover Sport as sporty is pretty much the same as whacking me in a pair of Speedos and expecting me to keep up with Tom Daley in a swimming pool. Neither of it is particularly sporting or has any kind of prowess when it comes to that kind of behaviour. It's just not going to happen. This new Range Rover Sport, when it was released back in 2013, is just so much more sporty. It really is. The steering is a lot more pinpoint. The drive itself is a lot more dynamic. You can certainly feel the road come back towards you via the steering wheel, which for me is akin a lot more to having a sportier ride. So everything is within easy reach, everything works, the materials feel premium and nice. This car has aged particularly well. Now the beauty of it is that this car from new would cost you around about £70,000. So that is what someone paid for this in 2013. You can now buy this for £38,000. It's still a lot of money, but you get an awful lot of car for that cash. What it does do is make you look like an absolute boss. Feel boss-like right now. I don't feel like a Premiership footballer though. Not sure if that's a positive or a negative. So, now that I have driven both of the Range Rovers back to back, what do I think? Well, the Autobiography is luxurious in pretty much every way. It is beautifully manufactured, it is jam-packed full of options, and is an awful lot of car for only £41,000. But the Range Rover Sport has that dynamic driving quality that I personally enjoy. It is also big enough to be used every single day in town, but not too big that you can't park the thing. So, which one would I be taking home? I would be taking home the £38,000 Range Rover Sport because it gives you a thrill every time you drive it, but you can realistically use it every single day. If you're interested in seeing more car reviews and exclusive content from all sorts of things this year, then don't forget to like and subscribe.